yeah, it's a terrible day, man, you know. But on days like today, y'all, that's when you need to be, you know, going through your customer list. Well, I'm just telling you what I do. I go through my customer list, you know, and if you are, if you don't have software that keeps up with everything, you should get it. I don't really know what the best software is. My software is from 2000 and I don't know, 10 or 11. It's not, you know, it's not none of this streamlined stuff, but it keeps a great record of everything. All my money I make, all the customers, all the scheduling, all the work coming down the pipe and everything. So, you know, you may, if you're going to be doing this to make money long term, you're going to need software, you know, I think, you know, to make, you know, to make money. I mean, not to make money, but to be efficient and to grow. If you're just doing it part-time, you can probably keep up with it on paper, you know, but once you start getting more than, you know, 25 or 30 customers, you know, to me, it's just to me, and I got a great memory, it just seems like it's just a little bit more complicated than what I want to deal with when I can be using that brain power to generate more customers. And this is the time of year that you got to get your customers. If you wait till July or June to start getting customers, well, they done hired Ray. So because Ray done been out there in, you know, April, May, you know, early April and stuff. So yeah. So yeah, but it's been really wet, man, down here where I'm at, y'all, the last 3 days. So, you know, but you got to make best use of your time. You know, if you don't make best use of your time, excuse me, then, you know, you know, I look at a day like today and yesterday the same as I do as when I'm out cutting lawns. I want to be efficient, you know, and so it's really goes all the way back to how you spend your time, you know. Yeah, we all need a break and we all need time on the couch and rest time, but, you know, this time of year, from now until November, it's about work, to me, you know, hardcore, chasing work, getting checks, setting up jobs and things like that, and making sure you got enough customers to be able to, you know, make it in the maintenance end. But if you want to wait until, you know, May, at least down here where I'm at, May, to start, you know, your lawn care business, or to start trying to broaden your business, you don't wait it too late. And another way you can get more work too, you know, other than advertising, I don't do a lot of marketing. I usually go off word of mouth, but it ain't always been like that, you know. So you have to kind of go off of your existing customers, and I get a lot of work referrals and stuff like that, and I let all my customers know that I'm looking for more work or need more work or blah blah blah, and then a lot of times I end up doing more work for them, you know. Thing like the other day I was telling you, we're going to set up to pull all them bushes out. So, you know, and I know y'all gonna think this is crazy, and I'm gonna say this, a lot of people right now with the COVID and all the stimulus money running around, a lot of people at least where I'm at, and not all people, but a lot of people that could normally not afford to do this or that around their property, they're getting the stimulus money and they're spending their money on projects that are outside, you know, the regular lawn maintenance stuff, because, you know, well, because it's things that they, you know, COVID has affected a lot of different businesses. I get it, but there's a lot of businesses that are getting, or not businesses, but individuals that are getting the COVID money, and but their finances really haven't changed any. And to those are the people that are calling me now saying, okay, you know, we got an extra, you know, $1,400, just say, And now, so if we can spend $600 or $700 on the lawn, then we're still benefiting $700 from the COVID stimulus package, and that's just one of the checks. So, and if you're a couple and your finances really hasn't changed, and I know that's not for everybody. If you're a couple and your finances really hasn't changed any as far as what you bring in, and you're getting the COVID money because you're under that 70 grand a year, then that's just money that you know that people are spending, and they can spend it with me, they can spend it at Walmart, they can spend it, but they're spending this money. And so, you know, that's something to keep in mind when you are dealing with some of your customers that normally, you know, don't really have the money to do bush pullouts and, you know, tree trimming and things that are outside of lawn care, normal lawn care maintenance. So that's a way for you to get some of that money, but you have to come to them, and you have to identify your customers and identify what they want and the things that they've been wanting to do that you've talked about in years previous, that they always are thinking or saying, well, you don't have the money for that right now. You know, now they may have the money for that $300 project that they didn't have the money for last year or year before or whatever. You know, so it's just, you know, I'm seeing a lot of people that don't normally spend money, like, you know, outside of the maintenance, that are calling me spending money outside of the maintenance. And we're talking about, you know, out of 95 or so customers that I got, we're talking about 30 or 40 of them doing that. And so that can generate, you know, a third or 50% more income than what you might have gotten on a time when the government's not giving money out for the stimulus packages and all that stuff, you know. And I know some people are really suffering behind it, but there are a lot of people that are not, you know, and they're getting the same money that somebody that's suffering too. So that's just another thing to be thinking about when you're thinking about customers that'll spend money outside of lawn care, you know. So anyway, I got to go in here real quick, y'all. This is Ray. I'll kick back with you. Peace out. But yeah, people are spending more money now than on average, y'all. You know, and I guess at the end of the day, that's really what the COVID money is for. You know, to keep the economy going. And I don't know. Well, I know that it's been bad for a lot of businesses, and really bad for a lot of, especially people in the service industry, like, you know, clubs, bartenders, waitresses, and anybody in the tourist, you know, business. You know, I'm sure it's been really rough on them, you know, but it has not affected me that bad, as far as you know, work goes and everything. It really hasn't. It's and I don't know if it's, you know, I really don't know why it hasn't. I mean, I've lost a few customers, you know, people to do their own yard, but not enough customers to where I'm noticing it as far as, you know, my monthly income, at least all last summer. And, you know, I mean, last summer we grew. I don't know if we grew, but my numbers are better. Across the board, my numbers are better, you know, and a lot of that has to do with, you know, keeping my expenses down, and, you know, all of that, you know, and being smarter about what customers I accept. And yeah, I look at it like that now. In the beginning, you know, you can't look at it like that in the beginning. You know, you have to do what what you have to do to provide for your family. But you know, and this is really geared toward, this little spiel here I'm going to go into is really geared toward the beginner lawn care people. You know, if you've been doing this for you know, 10 years or more, probably have your own system down about how you do things. And see, in the beginning, you just have to take on all work, man. You have to, dude. You know, at least I did. You know, I did everything. I even did things like in the off season. You know, the first few years, I would install ceiling fans in some of my customers' houses. Haul off junk. Done that quite a bit over the years. You know, just, you know, install floodlights, replace light bulbs in floodlights outside, you know, that kind of thing, you know. I mean, yeah. And didn't make much money doing all that, but it kept me from having to work for the man. So that's my biggest fear. That's what keeps me motivated. What keeps me motivated, y'all, let me tell you what motivates Ray more than anything. What keeps me motivated the most is the fear of having to go back and work for the man. The fear of having to go back to that warehouse and work for somebody else for you know, for my livelihood. The fear of having to go back to that office and be accountable to a company that's not me, that's not you know, that doesn't have my best interests at heart for my life. You see, working for yourself is not just like going to work for a company. Working for yourself, y'all, is, well, it's an extension of you and who you are. And there is no hit a clock at 9 and punch out at 6 or whatever. This is, I run my business in a way that's almost like, well, it's my lifestyle almost. Because I do things for the business on the daily, every day. You know, I'm doing something for the business because it's really given me an identity, if you will, where you know, I always have something to do, and it doesn't always have to be generating money. It can be, you know, things like I'm doing today. You know, it can be you know, learning about how to do different projects too, you know. It can be collecting money. It can be cleaning up the software to enable me to be able to go on the software and get rid of the customers that are not going to be with me anymore this year. You know, and I call that, you know, kind of purging the software, and I do that every year. I mean, you know, working is, you know, is just everything that I do for the business, because at the end of the day, the bottom line, I'm able to generate more money during the season if I take care of everything on days like today and during the off season. But now, this winter's been the best winter I've had in the whole time I've been in business, y'all. And it ain't just because I have a Bobcat, you know, though that's a part of it. It's really, it has a whole lot to do with me learning, and yes, me learning what I can and can't do, me learning and getting more educated in the business in general, in the Bobcat game and the lawn game, and me avoiding a lot of the pitfalls that you run into, that you can run into, that can kind of, stall you a little bit, especially in the wintertime. And what I've learned over the years is during the summer, I set myself up for winter work. A lot of customers will come to me during the summer while we're there, and I've learned how to identify work needed on jobs while I'm cutting the grass. See, a lot of guys might just be cutting the grass and they're not thinking about anything but, well, just cutting the grass and getting done, Well, see, when I'm on the lawnmowers cutting grass, I'm thinking about other things that I can do at this property or that property that would be like a winter project, and that pays dividends, because you're able to talk to the customer about it during the summer. Say, oh, I would love to do that, and I would love to do this, and I come to them, I'm like, okay, well, in the summertime, in the wintertime, the fall season, I can do all that stuff for you. I said, I just can't do it in the summertime, because I don't have time. Like, tree trimming and things like that, and so by carrying on conversations with your customers, you gain knowledge into what customers want, what customers are willing to pay for, and even how much they're willing to spend, and you don't learn that in, year 1 or 2. You learn a lot, but in year 1 or 2, 3, it's all about survival. To me, it was. I wasn't able to sit back now like I can now and look at the ebbs and the flows of the business coincide with the ebbs and flows of the season, and try to make sure that I'm putting myself in the best scenario. Back in the early days, I just wanted to be in the scenario. Now, in the last, probably about the last 6 or 7 years, I've been, fine-tuning that to be in the best scenario to make top dollar, and if I can't make top dollar, then I have to weigh what else I got more lucrative going on. And if that's nothing, then I can go back to not making top dollar for whatever specific job that is. How much money I make out here has a lot to do with how busy I am. How I charge has a lot to do with how busy I am. Especially on jobs where the Bobcat's involved. I've been able to get more money this off season for Bobcat work because I'm busier with Bobcat work, and I'm more confident with what I can do with the Bobcat in a day's time with my attachments and all. There was a time, and I'm not saying there won't never be another time like that, but there was a time when I felt like I could go out and make $500 with the Bobcat in a day, and that's good money, And in the beginning, when you're trying to learn, and I'm still learning, don't get me wrong, and in the beginning, when you're trying to learn, at the beginning of the Bobcat game, you're trying to learn what you can do with the machine. You're trying to make sure you can get it to the job safely, and you're trying to make sure that you're not breaking any laws by hauling it on the wrong kind of trailer and chaining it down, and you don't want to have an accident and lose the machine, so over the last 2 years, winters that I've had the Bobcat, I have been able to not master it, but master the ability to well, not even master, get better at my ability to run the machine, okay? To identify key things on a job that's going to limit me from being able to make good time, being the lay of the land. Do I got to cross this ditch? Is there a place to park the truck? These kind of things that all go into the pricing and or the ability of me to even want to take on that job. And the more Bobcat work I do, the more lucrative it is. So now, I won't do I don't ever say I won't do it, but right now, the way I have learned and the way I have spent my money on attachments and all, the Bobcat can generate $1,000 a day, $850 a day on the regular, in between $850 and $1,000 a day on the regular. Before, when I didn't know anything about the machine, about customer expectations, about what I can or can't do with the machine, I was underselling myself just to get the work. But there's a lot to be said for that, because the work that I was getting, though not as lucrative as what I can do now with the Bobcat, the work that I was getting was giving me experience. And even though I wasn't making as much money as I make now, I was gaining experience in the Bobcat game. I was gaining experience with dealing with customers. I was gaining experience in the ability to run the machine, the actual mechanical part of running the machine, and not everything, but some of the things that can go wrong with the machine, and what to watch out for on a job that I did not know in the early days of me running, getting the Bobcat. I got the Bobcat based on a whim, y'all. I got the Bobcat, based on the hope that I can make money with it. And I know you guys are thinking, well, man, Ray, if you got a Bobcat, you can anybody can make money with one. Well, I don't know if I go for that. You might be able to make money for one, but you might be able to make money with one, but you have to be learning along the way, and I guess, if you went through the thought process of buying a skid steer, and you went through the thought process of, what it's going to take to buy one and find one and research them and all of that, then you probably have the temperament to understand and to know that you're not going to make top dollar in the very beginning if you don't have no experience in selling that kind of service. And then, if you don't know what all the Bobcat can or can't do, well, that's going to limit you on what you can make too, because you're not, you don't understand everything that you can do. And then, and that all just goes back to inexperience on a Bobcat or machine like that, and it all comes back to you once you learn the machine, learn what it can and can't do, and learn what you can make it do or can't do. Like, I have not gotten grading down yet, but I do understand that, and I have the temperament to be patient and to just get in. It really goes back to just get in where you fit in. In the beginning of the Bobcat game, I got in where I fit in. I got in at $400 or $500 a day, and very happy and grateful to get that money, and and learning. And now fast forward 2 years later, we're at $850 to $1,000 a day, and that's and I could probably get more once I learn how to bid on these jobs and not do it by the day, every job by the day. some of the jobs I've not done by the day, and I have made pretty good on it. But that's because I've done so much work by the day that I'm learning the machine and everything. So, the video today is just about, projecting and just some of my thoughts on earning money out here, living on the land, and how I may do this or that, and why I do this or that. That's what my channel is really all about. The bow antics are just a sidekick, to what I want my channel to be about. And the bow antics and stuff are just the reality of what I deal with when it comes to the labor side of things. But there's a whole lot more that goes into the thought process of running a business like this than a guy like Bo. And whether it's entertaining or hurtful or hard to watch, all that's really, it's really irrelevant to me, because the channel is really about what it takes and the things I go through to be in the lawn care business, landscape business here in South Georgia, and at this time. So anyway, I'm going here and get me and my wife a Sammy, and I'll kick back with you guys. Peace out.